Good afternoon, everybody. Well, actually, I should say good evening, everybody. Sorry this is late, but this is my top 5 Wednesday this week. Unfortunately, I was out of town the first 2 days of this week, so I was unable to film, but I am here now, and I'm really exhausted, but I wanted to do this, especially since I do have a top 5 Wednesday list. And this week's topic is your favorite side ships. Side ships, basically the ships that have nothing to do with the protagonist. So, here are my top 5, and they are not in any order. Let's see. Okay, so, I'm totally unorganized with this because I should have called these up. I should have called this list up. Because I did type this up. I didn't write it, but... Okay. Give me a minute. Cancel. There it is. I will get better at this. Okay, Okay, so my first one, and these are in no particular order, is David, and I do not know how to say her name. I don't know if it's Genya or Genya, but Genya, that's how I said it when I was reading it. David and Genya from the Grisha trilogy. I love these two together. They are so cute. I like how they're opposites of each other. I like couples where they're complete opposites of each other, particularly the ones where the woman is kind of bossy and she's a lot tougher, and the guy's kind of a nerd, which I have another couple on this list that is also like this. But Genya is like, she's beautiful, she's a fabricator, I think that's what she is. So she can change her, or she might be a heart ender. I can't remember the terms in the Christian trilogy, but she's one of those people who can alter your appearance, and she's a very optimistic, happy person. She's a bit of a fashionista, and of course, and like normally a girl like Genya would not like a guy like David, but she's like totally like in love with the guy who doesn't like he actually says himself that he only knows metal. He only knows how to shape metal. He's kind of socially awkward. He's a nerd. He doesn't even notice that she likes him, which I think, and of course by the time he does is when, is when she's not looking too good, she's like, the Darkling did something to her, and she thinks that the only reason he is giving her attention is out of pity, but then he's like, after he says that I only know metal, he kisses her, which I think is really romantic, because I think he does care about her, he does love her, it's just he doesn't know how to show it, and I always had a soft spot for those kind of couples. Okay, couple number 2 is actually from a book series I no longer read. In fact, I stopped liking the series. I couldn't stand the series, especially the protagonist of the story. But this was one of the couples that I did still like in the book series before I stopped reading it. Which is Aphrodite and Darius from the House of Night series. I think that's what his name. It's been so long, so I don't remember. But I think that's what his name was. He was like a soldier and, very straight-laced, serious, all the time doing what needs to be done, and she was kind of a bit of a diva, kind of snobby, but he still liked her, he fell in love with her and everything, despite she can run people the wrong way, and she's a bit of a bitch, but she has her, of course she's a likable character at times, and sometimes I like her honesty and bluntness throughout the series, and she puts the main character, the protagonist, Zoe Redbird, puts her in her place, is like, gets her from doing dumb things. She's kind of like the Cordelia of this series. And what I like about her and Darius is he accepts her for who she is. He still loves her despite her attitude towards people, and he sees the good in her, that she's not a complete bitch, And it's not like, and I feel like it's not like on Buffy with Cordelia and Xander. It was kind of more, they did care about each other and did like each other, but I felt like Cordelia and Xander kind of had more of they were attracted to each other kind of relationship. But I feel like with Darius and Aphrodite, it wasn't just about, although they were attracted to each other, of course they were attracted to each other, but it wasn't just about that between the two of them. And like I said, I like how he accepted her for who she was, and she accepted him. And they had a very honest relationship. And I really like that. Okay, so let me look again on my list, my Word document. Let me see. The next. Okay, so I have Simon Lewis from The Moral Instruments, Simon Lewis, and Isabel Lightwood. Again, another couple that they're complete opposites. He's kind of a nerdy guy. He's not he's a bit socially awkward, but he's a little bit better at it than David. He's willing to try, and I think it probably helped that he did date Clary Frey he did date the protagonist for a period of time. And Izzy is the sexy, badass shadow hunter, and who has a thing for, downworlders, which are the vampires, the werewolves, the warlocks, all those type of guys. She and the Fae, and fairies, she's had a series of relationships like that. And Simon's kind of a nerdy, hasn't had the closest he come to adventure before the books, the story, before the plot of the book was probably comic books, and other books, but he, and I think, in a way they were there, Izzy was there for Simon after Clary and him decided where he realized that Clary wasn't ever going to be in love with him, that she would always hold the torch for Jace. And they were just the two of them were so cute together, and especially at the end of the series, especially the last part of the series, that was heartbreaking. I'm not going to tell you what happens if you haven't read the Moral Instruments series, which I would be surprised if you hadn't, but I'm sure there are people that haven't read it, or there are even people that just don't care at all and are not interested. But this was one of my first series. After the Twilight, the Harry Potter Twilight House of Night thing, Moral Instruments I think was the next hardcore series I got into. But but again, like I said, I love that they're opposites of each other. Now, it probably does help that Simon becomes, spoiler alert, a vampire in City of Ashes. I think he does become a vampire in City of Bones. It's been a long time since I read the books. I'm currently watching the series, but the series doesn't 100% follow the books perfectly. So, which is, I think, is almost better. Which I think is better. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But I love, but the thing is, Simon, even though he became a sexy vampire, he may have looked much more attractive, but he never changed. He was still kind of that adorable, dorky, nerdy guy that was Clary's best friend. So he didn't change his personality. So I feel like, yes, it might have helped get Isabel's attention, but I think in the end she fell for him and his nerdiness. And I like how there's actually in the show, back in the first season, Clary goes into an alternate universe, and she's dating Jace at the time, and they're all pretty normal and they're living normal lives, and you meet Simon, and Simon and Clary aren't dating in this alternate reality. He's actually dating Isabella, and Isabella's kind of more nerdy like. She's not as she's not as badass, cool, sexy Shadowhunter. She's kind of a nerd herself, wearing t-shirts and glasses, and and I think that in the alternate reality, I think that Simon might have had the intention to propose to Isabella in the alternate reality. But I love I love that episode. But anyway, back to the books. They are one of my favorite side ship. I love watching, and I like how, and what I really like about, the best part about that is that, now, as I've said multiple times before, I have no problem. I'm more okay with love triangles than most of the book reading population, especially the booktube population. But there are times when, I get why people why people hate them so much, and there are certain aspects about them that irk me. And I like how this, but what helps make it easier for me is that when the one guy doesn't get the girl, or the one girl doesn't get the guy, but there's someone else for them. Like, they get with someone else that they love just as much. That makes it a lot, at least for me anyway. My dog's right here. My dog Rascal, so forgive him and his obnoxious barking. Rascal. So that's what I like about them, is that, it's not just because they are so cute together, but also because, because Clary and Simon did not work out, Simon found someone else he could love just as much as Clary. And, okay, so next couple. I will get better at this, I promise. I will get better at this. Okay, this next couple, again, this is another series I'm not into anymore, although I was one of the people that did like the series. A Twilight couple, actually. And, I liked them as much as the next person, but I was not a huge fan of Edward and Bella, although it did not help that their movie, I was okay, I was cool with Robert Pattinson, I just was not cool with Kristen Stewart as Bella. In fact, I didn't picture, that's not how I pictured Bella look, although she got the awkwardness down, I think. But, my favorite couple in that story is Alice and Jasper. Once again, like I said, as you can see, there's a pattern here. I like that, all my couples are kind of people that are opposites of each other, and Alice and Jasper are definitely opposites. Alice is very happy and peppy and very extroverted, loves throwing parties and, just a fun and bubbly person. And Jasper's more quiet and, introverted and, more not as, and more shy, I feel like, and, more serious. Although, not that he doesn't have sense of humor, he just has sense of humor. But they balance each other out really well, I feel like, with their two opposing personalities. Him being introverted and her being extroverted. And I think sometimes that, I think you gotta have some common ground. And that brings me to another thing, is that when Jasper became a vampire, Alice, she helped him. She helped him deal with that. She helped him cope with being a vampire and getting used to it, and, learn how to live like a vampire, and, and controlling the hunger, and not killing humans, becoming, as they call it, a vegetarian vampire, meaning you only drink human blood. And he also supports her and helps her when she has these premonitions that are very hard on her, because none of her premonitions are, her premonitions, of course, aren't happy. They're, about things possible futures, and I think he helps her with that. He helps her cope with that. And they have this understanding of each other, and they have this silent, conversations with each other. Like, they get each other. Especially, you see this in oh crap. sorry, I just realized I fed my dogs, you know, and my mom and dad already fed them. So, they're gonna get extra fat. Well, anyway, so I'll deal with that after I finish filming this. But yeah, I don't, you know, I like Edward and Bella, but I don't, you know, I'm more about Jasper and Alice, and I would love to see a book about their relationship and how it formed, like maybe after he became a vampire, how did she help him deal with that, like their whole story. That's what I would love for I would have loved for Stephanie Meyer, and even though I don't read anything, I don't, you know, even though I'm not into Twilight anymore and have no interest in rereading the books. In fact, I donated them. I would, if she did that, if she wrote an Alice and Jasper storyline, then I would buy that just to read it, or at least, or maybe if it was at the library, I would borrow it at the library. But I don't know if it will be there. Okay, so there's. Okay, so that is my. Okay, so the last couple I put on there is Link and Ridley from Castor Chronicles. And of course, surprise, surprise, these two are basically opposite of each other. She's a bit of a wild child, you know, fun, and the biggest opposite about her is, you know, that, not only that she's a caster, and aka a witch, but they prefer the term a caster over witch, and she's a siren, so she can have any guy, she can manipulate any guy that she wants, and have any guy that she wants, just a lick of her lollipop, literally. But she is also a dark caster, which essentially like evil, like dark magic caster. And then Link is kind of easygoing, small town guy, kind of a dork, you know, trying to be a rock star, but not, you know, he's not that great. He's a loyal friend, you know, he's just, and of course his mom is like, his mom is kind of is a church lady type. She hates the casters. She's all about, you know, and you know, she's very religious. So that kind of makes it difficult for Link, and but he sees good in Ridley. He sees, especially because she still cares about Lena, the protagonist. She still cares about her cousin, and she's still willing to protect her and defend her, even though she's like a dark caster. And Link sees that. He knows that she's a good person deep down, and he wants to help her, and he still loves her, and he won't give up on her. He's so hopeful when it comes to her, and, you know, but she constantly pushes him away, and is like, I'm a dark caster, and, you know, she had a nickname for him. I can't remember what it was, but, she tries to push him away. Now, I don't know if I'll ever read the spin-off series about them. I might. But that I would probably, like, either would have to be at the library or, like, maybe at the used bookstore, which I highly doubt it will be there. Or I would just buy it and then, you know, go through the whole series and then return it. I don't know, but, I don't know if I'll read it, but they are my 5th favorite couple. Okay, those are my favorite side chips. Of course, that might change over the years, because when it comes to favorites, like, it's more about, if you ask me what my favorites are, it will be more about what I feel in the moment. And in the moment, those particular ones are my 5 favorites. Okay, so I will post okay, so in case you're interested, this top 5, if you're interested in doing this, Top 5 Wednesday is a Goodreads group hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tones. Was originally created by Ginger Reads Lady. And if you want to join, if you're a Goodreads member and you want to join, I will post the link. Or, you know, even if you're not a Goodreads member, I think you could do it anyway, if you have a BookTube account. So I will post the link for topic ideas and such on the little box thing at the bottom of the video. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and I will post my next video, probably Friday. I'm gonna try to stick to a schedule because I've been on how to make a good booktube video. It's been recommended that you have a schedule, you have a set schedule. So I'm gonna try to stick to a schedule this time and post my next video on Friday. Alright, thank you. Bye.